Would you please comment on making friends with one's own expectations? Making friends means, in the sense, to acknowledge them, but let them pass, not having in any way to react to them. Expectation sounds to me slightly different from seeking patterns. Is it so? Thank you very much, dear. Hey Mara, I wonder if you got this idea from Roger, because you've got Roger Castillo and Ramesh Balsaka, because in their teaching it is the teaching is all suffering comes from blame, guilt, shame, pride, and expectation. There's two different levels of expectation. So there's the like natural expectation that appears. So I expect to wake up in the house that I went to sleep in. I expect my car to be outside, when I've got my car keys. I expect the sky to be upwards, not downwards. So that's more natural expectation. Like I expect people to treat me with dignity and respect, and I expect myself to do that as well. But that's maybe more of a natural one, more of a natural bodily character dynamic that has got nothing to do with seeking or identification. Then on top of that, then seeking can come. So there can be an expectation that people are nice to you, and then there is strong attachment to it. So it can be really traumatic for you or awful for you when people aren't nice to you. It also could be traumatic without seeking. So there could be trauma in your body where you've been abused before, or you've been in a situation where you're really disrespected. So there could be some trauma around it. But the seeking element is the belief that you will find freedom in that. So the body is meant to have reactions, and it's meant to have feelings. That's normal to have feelings, and to be upset if someone screams or shouts at you or swears at you or is abusive to you. But then there can be seeking energy that comes with that. Which is the belief that they are taking away your freedom. And that's not true. Freedom is taken away because of detachment from who you are, or attachment to the personality structure. So you're not in contact with who you are. So nothing can take it away. And this is happening at a very subconscious level, like this deep-seated belief that something in this world is taking your freedom away. And it makes sense when we start to think that that's what we believe. So that makes sense. Like so when you're taught that by your parents, and you're taught it by society, and like objects and situations and scenarios do bring pleasure and pain. So it is painful, certain things, and it is pleasurable, certain things, but you don't find freedom in them. You'll never find freedom in them. So making friends means, in the sense, to acknowledge them, but let them pass, not having in any way to react to them. So yeah, so there could be two different things that's happening in you. So like I said, so there's the seeking that comes on top of the expectations and makes the expectations more dramatic, and then the actual expectations. And on a psychological level, there could be traumas around expectations. Maybe when you were a child, your parents always let you down, or in relationships, your partner's let you down a lot, so there's trauma around it. So in that, like on the human level, you can make friends with it. You can look at that psychologically, and you can examine that, and you can feel the pain of it. And then there's this added seeking level, which makes it 10 times stronger because it believes that freedom comes from that. So there's nothing wrong with having expectations. They're just something that happens. Often when we get into the subject, what we strive for so much is to be the perfect person, because then we're safe and then we feel we'll be lovable. That's natural, that the human wants to be loved and wants to be safe and fit in, but then it gets exacerbated again by the seeking energy, so it makes it 10 times more intense. It feels like if you aren't lovable, you're going to die a horrible death and everything bad is going to happen to you. When you're in contact with that which is bigger than you, it's painful, but it's just pain. It's just pain. So on the psychological level, to me, making friends with expectation is allowing the feeling to be there. So you have an expectation that somebody treats you a certain way, and then allowing that feeling to be there. And it's no different. If you've got strong expectations, it's no different from not having strong expectations. It's all to do with conditioning. So you could have one child that's brought up where parents neglect the child, and so the child becomes very pleasing and has very low expectations of people when they grow up. But that doesn't mean they're more enlightened. It's just the way they were conditioned. That's got nothing to do with enlightenment. Then you might have another child that was given a lot of attention and a lot of things by the parents, and so they might have higher expectations, and then that might cause more pain. It causes pain for the one that was neglected, but it might cause more obvious pain, like more overt pain in the other one. The one that was neglected will more than likely go into denial about it, and the one which was maybe like spoilt or overindulged, it will be more obvious maybe. And it doesn't mean that either is more enlightened or not. And everybody's personality structure is dependent on the way you were raised in childhood, and then it evolves and changes. But that's like the core of it. And it's also dependent on your family line. Like your past lives, you could say, or family line. So what was I saying about that? So it's like allowing these feelings in, seeing them as just as what they are, they're just conditioning, and then noticing that what you're looking for is always what you are, is what's looking, is what's experiencing. That sense of emptiness and the aliveness, the alive presence.